Good morning everyone. So students, in the last class we were studying about the 7th chapter of science, that is how plants survive, about the adaptations of the plants and how do they survive in different climate or in different regions. Okay. So in the last class what did we study? We studied about the different types of plants. How many types of plants were there? There were different types of plants. Those were terrestrial plant, aquatic plant, then insectivorous plant, and there were non-green plants. Yes or no? And in the last class we studied about the terrestrial plant, right? The plants that grow on the land in different regions and in different areas where there are different types of climate. And how do the plants, they survive themselves in those different conditions. Yes, and what were the terrestrial plants that grow in different regions? Like plants that grow in plains. Yes or no? There were plants that grow in plains and plants that grow in the heavy rainfall area, then plants that grow on the mountains, plants that grow in desert, plants that grow in swampy areas where the mud is very clayey, okay, and which contains lot of water. Those kind of places is called as swampy or marshy soil, okay. Then the plants that grow in the sea coastal areas. Sea coast means where you will find sea, okay, places like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Chennai, those type of places. Alright, so plants that grew in plant were grouped into two categories. What were those? Plants that grow in less rainfall area and plants that grew in the heavy rainfall area, in the plains. Yes or no? There were different types of there were different types of plants that grow in the different regions in the plain area, and they survived in different conditions. Like the plants which grow in the less rainfall region, they did not survive in the area where there is high rainfall. Why? Because their conditions were different. They did not require too much of water to grow. That is why the plants that grew in the less rainfall area, it becomes difficult for them to grow in the area where there is heavy rainfall. And the plants that grow in the heavy rainfall area, it becomes difficult for them to survive or adapt the condition or climate of the place where there is very less rainfall. For example, the place where there is very less rainfall, that is the desert area, right? Like Rajasthan and all, these type of area, there is very less rainfall, okay, and where there only few types of plants can grow, okay, and the area where there is very heavy rainfall, there are different types of plants that can grow there, okay. Then we studied about the plants that grow in the desert area, like cactus and all. We studied about their features, what type of features do they have. Then plants in swampy areas where the soil is sticky and clayey, okay. Then in the coastal areas where there is lot of water, okay. So students, today we will study about the plants that grow in the aquatic area, plants that grow in the water, inside the water, which are also called as aquatic plants, okay. So let us see. So students, today we will study about the aquatic plants. Now what are aquatic plants? Look into your books, take out your books. It is in page number 79. It is written there. What are aquatic plants? Plants that grow in water are called as aquatic plants. The plants that grow inside the water, those are called as aquatic plants. And there are three types of aquatic plants. That is floating plants that floats above the water and they grow inside the water. Then there is fixed plants, okay, where the roots is fixed inside the water, okay. Then comes the underwater plants which grow inside the water, that is underwater plants. So there are three types of aquatic plants. Those are floating plants, then fixed plant and underwater plants. Okay. Now what are floating plants? Stems of floating plants are light and spongy so that they can float on water. Duckweed and hyacinth are examples of floating plant. Now what are floating plant? These are the plants which are very light in weight. They are not heavy. Okay, have you seen a sponge? If you dip it inside the water, it floats on the water. Yes or no? It floats on the water. They do not sink inside the water. They do not get inside the water. Okay, so these plants, they float in the water as they are very light in weight. They are not heavy. They have a spongy characteristics. When you touch them, you will feel it soft because it has a spongy nature. Then it floats on the surface of the water. It doesn't sink inside the water. It always floats above the water. Such plants only survive in these conditions, the aquatic plants. Aquatic plants only can survive inside water. They cannot be planted outside in the land in different regions like plains, deserts or mountains. They will not survive. They may die. They will die. Okay. So what are the examples of floating plants? Those are duckweed. It is written in the slide. You can see DUCKWEED, duckweed, and water hyacinth, HYACINTH. You can see the picture. These are the plants that grow in water, but these plants do not sink inside the water. They float above the water. Okay, and the next one is the next example of aquatic plant is fixed plant. Fixed plant means the roots of these plants are fixed inside the pond. Okay, it is fixed. The roots which are fixed to the bottom of the pond. Deep down of the pond, the roots of these plants are fixed to the bottom of the pond. Okay, and they have long hollow stems to reach the surface of the water. They have thin, long and hollow stems. The stems of these plants are thin and they are hollow so that they can absorb the water, and the stems are thin so that they can reach inside the bottom of the water. Okay, and what type of leaves such plants have? These have the broad leaves with waxy coating. Okay, if you touch the candle, how do you feel? Such kind of texture it has. The texture of the leaves is waxy. It has waxy coating so that it can float in the water. If you put water in the wax, does it absorb? No, it do not absorb, right? And this waxy coating of the leaf, it prevents the leaf from getting rotten. When you put something inside water for a long period of time, it gets rotten, yes or no? It gets spoiled. So, not to get spoiled or to get rotten, these leaves, the leaves of such plants which are fixed inside the water, it has a waxy coating and the leaves are broad. That means it has a big leaves, broad. It is broad in shape. Okay, and the examples of fixed plant, it is lotus and water lily. You will see the lotus. The stem of the lotus are thin and long, yes or no? And the flower, it blooms on above of the water. And what type of shape does the leaf has of lotus plant? It is broad in shape, yes or no? It is broad in shape and it floats, and the roots, it reaches to the bottom of the pond. Okay, though it floats above the water, but the root, it reaches to the bottom of the pond, but not in the floating plants. The roots of the floating plants, it do not reaches down to the bottom of the water. Okay, only in this fixed plants the roots of the plants, it reaches below the pond, and the stem of the plant is thin, hollow and long, and the leaves are broad in shape with waxy coating so that it can be prevented from getting rotten. Okay, it is written in the slide. I will read out. What are the features of the fixed plant? See, number 1, it have roots which are fixed to the bottom of the pond. Then it have long hollow stem to reach the surface of the water. Then have broad and waxy coated leaves to prevent them from rotting. For example, lotus and water lily. Okay, I hope you understood this. Then the next type of aquatic plant is underwater plants. What do you mean by underwater plants? That means it grows inside the water. It grows inside the water. It is written there. These have narrow leaves without any stomata. Underwater plants grow under the water surface and have thin and narrow leaf without any stomata. Their leaf absorb gas dissolved in water directly through their surface. Tap grass and pondweed are example of underwater plants. You can see in the picture in your book, it is given there. Tape grass and pondweed. These are the examples of underwater plants. Okay. These plants grow inside the water. It do not float above the water, or it doesn't grow above the water. It grows inside the water. Okay, and the leaves of these plants are narrow, thin and narrow without any stomata. Now what is stomata? Stomata are the tiny openings that is present below the surface of the leaf, which help the leaf to exchange the gases that is present in the air, to exchange the gas from the atmosphere. What is stomata? Stomata is the little tiny opening pore that is present below the surface of the leaf, which help the leaf in gaseous exchange. That means they take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and they release oxygen. Okay, so these underwater plant, they lack the stomata in the leaf. They do not have leaf. Then how do they take the gases? They take the gases that is present inside the water. Okay, air is also present in water, inside the water surface. Okay, else how would the underwater animals, the animals like fishes, frogs, the animals that stay inside the water, how would they live without air? Yes or no? So water also contains air. They absorb those air or take in the air from the surface of the water itself. Okay, though they lack stomata, but they can take the water itself. See, it is written there. They breathe through the surface and keep the water clean. And these plants, the underwater plants, they help in keeping the water of the pond or lake. They keep the water clean. Okay, and the examples of these underwater plants are tape grass and pondweed. Alright, so this is the example of underwater plant. I hope you understood about the aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are those that grow inside the water, okay, in the water. And what are the types of aquatic plants? Those are floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. Alright. And now students, let us study about insectivorous plants. Now what do you mean by insectivorous? Insectivorous means that these plants are carnivorous in nature. That means they eat insects. Okay, these plants eat insects like mosquitoes, beetles, small butterflies. Okay, see, these plants are carnivorous in nature. Since they trap insects for their nutrition, that is why they are called as insectivorous plants, because of their carnivorous nature. Why are these insectivorous plants called as carnivorous? Because they trap insects for their nutrition. Alright. Then their leaves are modified to trap insects. The leaves of these plants are modified in such a way that if any insects come and sit on these plants, they trap those insects. They trap those insects and eat them. It is kind of eating. They do not have teeth or something like that, but they trap them. Okay. Look into your books. I will read it out. See. Some plants are carnivorous in nature. Their leaves are modified to trap insects and hence they are known as insectivorous plants. Venus flytrap and picture plant are example of such plants. These Venus flytrap and picture plant are example of insectivorous plant. Okay. Venus flytrap has leaves that are boxes with hinges. They have stiff hair-like structure on the inside of the leaf. When an insect touches the hair, the leaf snaps shut, trapping the creature inside. It is written in the slide. See. The leaves of these leaves are boxes with hinges. You can see it is pointed thing coming out from the leaf. These are the boxes with hinges. And inside these, they have long hair along the edges. In the edges, they have a long hair. You can see the hair coming out from the edges. Okay. When an insect, it touches these hair, the leaves, it shuts itself like this. Okay. And then the insects get trapped inside. And they do the secretions and they can digest these insects for their nutrition. That is why these are called as insectivorous plant. The next one is picture plant. You can see it is a type of a sac. A bag, it is a kind of a bag. The structure of this plant, picture plant, it is a kind of a bag with a lid, with an opening lid. You can see up, there is an opening lid. I will show you in the book. See, this is the opening lid above here and this is the sac-like structure. It is a bag-like structure. Okay. If any insects come and sit on the edges of this plant, it gets inside and this step, it falls off and it traps the insects inside this plant. Okay, the lid of the plant that is above the picture plant, it closes the opening and then the insects, it get trapped inside. Okay, and the secretion from the picture plant help to digest the trapped inside. The secretion that it does inside, it helps to digest the insects inside the picture plant. Okay, since these plants have carnivorous in nature, that is why they are called as insectivorous plant. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now let us move to non-green plants. So now students, what do you understand by non-green plants? Non-green means which are not green in color. The plants which are not green in color. What makes the leaf of the plants green in color? The pigment chlorophyll that is present in the leaves. The pigment chlorophyll that is present in the leaf of the plant, it makes them green in color, which helps them to do the process of photosynthesis, which helps the plants to perform the process of photosynthesis so they can prepare the food. They can prepare their own food for their growth of the plant. Okay. Since these non-green plants lack chlorophyll and they are not green in color, that is why they are called as non-green plants. It is written they do not have chlorophyll. CHLOROPHYLL, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment that is present in the leaf of the plant, which makes them green in color and which helps the leaves of the green plant to prepare food for themselves for the growth of the plant. Okay, without food, even plant cannot grow. As we human beings, we cannot grow and stay healthy without food. In the same way, plants also need food. But plants do not eat food or go in search of food. They prepare their food by themselves. Alright. For example, what are the example of non-green plants? It is Indian pipes and coral root. Indian pipe and coral root. Okay. See, it is written in a plants that cannot make their own food and absorb nutrients from dead plants and animals are called saprophytic plants. What are saprophytic plants? Saprophytic plants comes under non-green plants as they cannot prepare their own food or they cannot take their nutrition from the dead plants and animals that get mixed up in the soil. Okay. It is written, plants that cannot make their own food and absorb food from dead plants and animals in the soil are called as saprophytic plants. That means they depend on other for their nutrition. Okay, they depend on other for the nutrition. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now let us move to the useful plants. Uses of plants and some useful plants. So now let us study about the uses of plants. Okay. So students, plants are useful to us because the things that we use every day, it is made up of plants. Okay. It is written in your book, every day we use things made from plants in some form or the other. Every day the things that we use, it is made up of plants in some form or the other. Okay. See, the first point it is written, we all depend on plant for food. Now why do we depend on plant for food? Why do we depend on plant? We depend on plant for food as it gives us fruits, vegetables, oil, sugar, cereals, pulses, nuts and spices are the plant product. It also gives us tea, coffee, cocoa beans and also which is obtained from plants. Okay. Then soaps and shampoos have vegetable oils which are obtained from plants. The soap and the shampoo that we use, it contains vegetable oil that is obtained from the plants. Alright. Some soap it contains aloe vera, yes or no? Then neem, antibacterial formulations of soap and shampoos, these contains what? From where they are extracted? They are all extracted from plants. Okay. Then plants also contain substances obtained from plants. Then plants also gives us fiber like cotton, jute which help in making clothes. Alright. Then coconut tree, it gives us coconut oil, coconut butter, coir for making ropes as well as edible fruits. What is COIR? It is written in your book. See point number 5. Coconut tree give us coconut oil, coconut butter, coir for making rope as well as an edible fruit. Coir means the thick part of the coconut, the shell of the coconut. It is used in making the ropes. Okay. Then trees are used to make paper and furniture. The big huge trees, they are cut down to make furnitures and paper. The hollow stem of cane and bamboo plant is used to make basket, huts, mats and wall sticks. The bamboo plant, the cane, the stem of bamboo and cane, they are used in making baskets, okay, hut, walking sticks, etc. Alright. Then juices from rubber trees used to make rubber, tire and pipes. The juice that is obtained from the rubber tree, it is used to make what? Tires and pipes. Then the juice of acacia tree, that is kikar tree. Kikar tree is also called as acacia, ACACIA, acacia tree. It is used to make gum. Okay. It is written in your slide. I will read it out again. Plants like tea, coffee plant. We obtain tea and coffee from this tea and coffee plant. Bamboo plant is used in making paper, baskets, hut, mats, furniture, walking sticks, etc. Then coconut plant, it gives us coconut oil, coconut water and the fruit to eat. Rubber tree, the juices of the rubber tree, it is used to make rubber for tire, pipes, etc. Okay. Then eucalyptus, tulsi, cinchona, neem, these are all used as medicines. These plants like eucalyptus, tulsi, cinchona, neem, these plants are used as medicinal. It has got some medicinal properties, okay, used in making medicines. Then henna plant, okay, it is used for decorating hands and dye. You can pluck the leaves of the henna plant and you can use it as mehendi that you apply on your hand and your hair, okay. Then teak, sal and sesame, these are the trees that gives us wood for making furnitures. Alright, then acacia, acacia or kikar tree, it is used for making gum. The juices that is obtained from this plant, it is used to make gum. And coconut and jute plant, it is used to make cloth, carpet, sack and rope. Okay, I hope you understood this chapter. So students, I will give you the worksheet, the question answers and the exercises of this chapter related with this chapter, and in the next class I will continue with the next chapter. Okay, till then take care of yourself. See you again.